All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick's on the Power. So I want to make a video about Kevin Levrone and which year I feel he had his best shape, specifically his best conditioning. So Kevin Levrone would earn his pro card in 1991 by winning the overall at the NPC Nationals. So the year 1992 would be Kevin Levrone's pro debut. So in 1992, Kevin Levrone was roughly 27 years old, and his stage weight was only about 220 pounds at most of the shows in 92. Now, the bigger versions of Kevin Levrone that you'll see from later on in the 90s, maybe even the early 2000s, where he's much fuller, much rounder, obviously significantly more muscle mass, he was in the mid 240s to 250, so probably 25 to maybe 30 pounds heavier than he was back in these photos that you're looking at from 1992. Now, specifically, there's two shows in particular from 92 where I felt Kevin Levrone's conditioning was just absolutely standout insane. And the first of those two shows would be the 1992 Night of Champions, where he placed first. Now, there were actually some pretty big names in this 1992 Night of Champions lineup that you guys might recognize. Porter Cottrell took second, Robbie Robinson took third, Thierry Pastel took fourth, Milo Sarcev took fifth. There were other guys in that lineup like Pavel Jablonski placing ninth. You had Ronnie Coleman, a very young Ronnie Coleman, placing 14th at this show. You had Nasser El Sambadi, who did not place. And of course, you had an extremely impressive Kevin Levrone winning this show. In my opinion, if you look back at some of the photos from the 1992 Night of Champions, Kevin Levrone was smoking some of these guys. I mean, it was a night and day difference. This guy, his genetics, the muscle bellies, the insertions, the roundness, the conditioning, the structure, everything on Kevin Levrone in 1992 was just superior to everybody else on that Night of Champions stage. And it was a hands down, in my opinion, landslide victory for Kevin Levrone, arguably one of the biggest victories of his career, next to the Arnold Classic wins. Now, the other show from 1992 where I found Kevin Levrone to be extremely impressive was the 1992 Mr. Olympia. Now, it's important to keep in mind here, this was only Kevin Levrone's first ever Mr. Olympia. He is still a rookie bodybuilder, his first year as a pro. So obviously the Mr. Olympia competition is going to be a little bit intimidating for somebody that's a rookie bodybuilder. And in addition to that, back then it was held in Helsinki, Finland, so he had to go overseas to compete. But despite all that, despite the fact that he was 27, despite the fact he was a rookie, despite the fact he had to travel to Finland, Kevin Levrone took second place at his first Mr. Olympia ever, again, looking insane from a conditioning standpoint. Now, Dorian Yates won the Olympia that year. And of course, as we all know, that was the first year that Dorian Yates would win the Olympia. And in 92, yet again, you had a very impressive lineup at the Olympia, just like the Night of Champions. Kevin Levrone beat Lee Labrada, Sean Ray, Momo Benaziza, Vince Taylor, Sonny Schmidt, Porter Cottrell again, Thierry Pastel. Lou Ferrigno made his comeback at the 1992 Mr. Olympia, placing 12th. Also in that lineup, placing outside of the top 10, you had Samir Bannout, a former Mr. Olympia. Again, you had Ronnie Coleman, a guy who had not yet won his first Olympia. So this was kind of back before Ronnie Coleman was really the Ronnie Coleman that we know him as. And yet again, you had Milo Sarcev in this lineup, placing outside of the top 10. So very competitive Olympia year, a lot of big names in there. Kevin Levrone, rookie bodybuilder, comes out of nowhere, placing second. His legs, arguably, in my opinion, the best they ever looked. Maybe not from a size standpoint, but I mean, he had cross striations in his quads. His glutes were shredded. His hamstrings were shredded. His back was shredded. This is where the back double bicep became one of his most iconic poses, where he hit it similar to Arnold. And he just looked absolutely incredible in 1992. So I'm sure some of you guys might disagree with me on this, and you guys might prefer a little bit bigger, a little bit fuller version of Kevin Levrone as his best physique. But in my opinion, 1992, the Olympia and the Night of Champions, the conditioning that he brought, I mean, that has got to go down as one of Kevin Levrone's best looks ever. In my opinion, that was Kevin Levrone's best physique. So let me know in the comment section below which year you guys think was Kevin Levrone's best physique. Do you think it was 1992, or do you guys prefer maybe a bigger look in the later 90s, maybe early 2000s? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.